haven't recorded on this channel in a while. How's it going, you guys? It's your boy Paul, the wrestling fan here. I want to get into something before we get into today's video. I want to get into some updates. I got hair on my phone. But yeah, I want to get into some updates. First off, I'm rebranding the channel name. It's still gonna say Paul Dude 316. I'm also gonna call myself maybe Paul the Wrestling Fan, because I do more than just WWE on this channel. I'm just gonna do like wrestling in general. This is like a new thing I'm starting called Wrestling News. It can be independent wrestling and WWE, AEW. But one thing I do want to talk about is GTS wrestling. Grim. I have watched this guy since 2013. And at that, or like, no, actually 2012. And the only other YouTubers I actually knew at that time were like, I don't know, Smosh, Markiplier, or I didn't even know Mark and Jack until like 2014, I think it was. But like, I only really knew like Smosh at that time, and I think PewDiePie as well. I don't know at that time. Otherwise, I barely, or like WWE, that's legit all I watched was like wrestling and maybe some random funny kid stuff on there. I don't think I really watching kids unless it was something to do with butts, because back then for some reason I was obsessed with like farts and stuff, and it was disgusting. But getting off topic, I kind of want to get into some wrestling news kind of thing, and one of these segments today is gonna be GTS wrestling. So I do like Grim, so for anyone thinks I'm trying to hate on him, I'm not, because some stuff I do want to say is if you guys do watch him, then you should be watching this video. You're in the right place. One thing, I understand we watch him, he says we watch him to, you know, watch him put himself over. That's one thing we've seen all over these years. I really did think that if you guys did see the Burger King of the Ring tournament, I really kind of wanted to see Flash win that, because I knew he could prove himself. It's not fair, but Grim, one thing I did want to explain in this news video is this guy is like the master of gimmicks. That's one thing I want to get into, is he has all these gimmicks dating back to his earliest gimmicks with his with Super Pop. He was basically, it kind of really helped him, and since I knew he did used to, you know, wrestle back in, like, I guess it was the early 2000s, this gimmick with his it was his grandpa, it was one of the funniest gimmicks he's ever had. It was kind of like Angry Grandpa and Pickle Boy, honestly. They were bringing Kanye, and then all this wrestling stuff. I wanted to get into like wrestling gimmicks. He's had like the most gimmicks I've ever seen, including Ebenezer Middle Store. Like, that's like his very earliest, very first gimmick he really had. Besides, you know, he's basically like the kind of as I said, AGP and Pickle Boy. He was like the angry fat kid, and you know, the angry grandpa. Now that was just funny. That was classic stuff. But you know, there's Ebenezer, and then you had you have you know, his regular gimmick, Grim, putting people over, burying them shovel style. Then you've also got Grim Wyatt, and then the Fat Fiend. They go along, you know, because, you know, Bray Wyatt, and then he's also plays as the Fiend. Same thing with Grim Wyatt and the Fat Fiend. Then you have and you know, pretty good stuff. But anyways, what I wanted to call this segment is the Master of Gimmicks. So I think what I'm going to do, when I'm doing wrestling news, we're gonna do like the master of something, and this is the first one, the Master of Gimmicks, and I'm giving that to Grim because he's had like the most gimmicks. And then there's even the small gimmicks, the good guy Grim gimmick. Well, actually, it's became big. The shovel style Grim, where he buries everybody, shovel style. And then there's also you know, the super Grim gimmick, Super Cena gimmick, Super Grim gimmick, whatever you want to call it, where he's like the best, he's like the strongest person there and all that, you know. But I kind of wanted to do something like that, and I thought that was pretty good. He's the master of the gimmicks, basically. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of WWE guys you can give that to. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. The first one is Mash of Gimmicks. Now let's get on some more wrestling news. WWE releases top tier talent. Are you kidding me? They've been doing a whole release thing, and then recently they decided a whole bunch of wrestling news outlets have covered. Top tier guys. We got Aleister Black and Braun Strowman that were released recently. We even had Lana released, and she was doing her tag team with Naomi, so that kind of gets cut out. Now, who's to wonder if she's gonna, which everyone probably, it most likely is gonna happen because everyone said it even. Is she going to AEW? And my answer would be yes if I knew, but that's what it seems like. Probably in the near future, she'll probably be going to AEW to be with Miro. And then Raw. I thought I would also do some more WWE news with Raw. Raw, man, it needs to either be totally revamped or just get rid of it, even though it's the longest running show. It is terrible. The only good, really exciting things about it are the RK Bro. That's actually pretty decent. And then the WWE Championship thing, pretty good. Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley. But after, if whoever wins, I'll say if Drew McIntyre wins, then keep it going. But if Drew McIntyre loses, it's kind of good they're putting something else there. Maybe they'll put Kofi up there because, honestly, man, Kofi deserves it again. He deserves to have a lengthy reign and not have Brock Lesnar come in and take the belt from him. And then, Brock Lesnar's champion. And we've seen Brock Lesnar as champion a million times. So, but the dream match would be Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. I will give it to that. But otherwise, if Drew loses, then yeah, go ahead. Don't have him go up against Bobby Lashley, and then save it. Maybe make a storyline for Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley. That's what I would do. If Brock Lesnar shows up, because a lot of people are saying he's not. In other wrestling news, is John Cena coming back? That's something I would really like to know because everyone's saying that they're gonna do this whole thing. John Cena versus Roman Reigns, and that would be pretty awesome if they did that. Either have John Cena defeat Roman Reigns because Cena's never been champion. I mean, yeah, they'd most likely put Roman Reigns over. And then another thing, speculating if Brock Lesnar does come back, is Paul Heyman gonna leave Roman Reigns, or is he gonna say bye-bye to Brock, and then Brock comes up and then we get the whole Brock versus Roman Reigns thing going? That'd be pretty nice. That'd be pretty good to see. Between this Paul Heyman thing. In other wrestling news, that is going to do it because I don't really have much wrestling news. Actually, the last thing I do want to talk about is another GTS thing. We're going to go all the way back, so back to that. Grimm and Ace signed contracts. Today, in today's GTS episode, we saw Grimm get invited to LTW, and Grimm signed a contract and got a $5,000 pay bonus, and then Ace signed a standard GTS contract, and so he could be wrestling for they're doing this whole challenge thing. Whoever can become champion first. So if Ace, let's say Ace becomes YouTube champion, then Grimm then he wins the challenge, and if Grimm's able to get the LTW championship, then Grimm wins the challenge, and then unify them. The last thing you have to do is unify the belts, and you've basically won the challenge. Even though, GTS, who knows, maybe GTS and LTW could become partner companies. Let's hope. See what happens. And that is it for your wrestling news. It has been your boy, Paul Duke 316, and I will see you all in the next video, whether it be wrestling news, wrestling content, or more wrestling content.